Today we're going over the TLDR on Arena as we know it right now, starting with the structure so that people that haven't been following just simply know what it is. So today is August 28th, 2023. All of this information is as of that date, but of course subject to change. All of this information, unless stated otherwise, is gathered from Nikita, the lead developer of Escape from Tarkov, various community and PR reps from Battlestate Games, actually employed by Battlestate Games, as well as the main website for Arena where you'll find all the trailers and news on it. So the TLDR within the TLDR, for those with just a couple minute attention spans, is that Arena is Escape from Tarkov for W-keyers. The inertia is still there, but you can use stims every round to negate it. The weight is still there, but you're not lugging out tons of loot every raid. You're just fighting, so it doesn't show as much as well as stims negate a lot of it. It also runs much better with smaller maps and higher tick rate servers, as well as of course lots of different performance improvements. It has been described as the Tarkov for W-keyers, or W-keyers dream, as well as big 11.7 vibes. If that sounds like something that you would be interested in, here's the rest of the information that we have right now. Arena will launch in a beta form sometime before the end of this year. If not, then with the December wipe. And that is going to be a real beta, not a marketing slogan beta. So it should be feature complete, but BSG are looking for feedback on balance and tweaks to the gameplay, aka a real beta. They have confirmed that there will be content releases in the future for it, including maps and gear as well. Even unique gear that you can only get in Arena and then transfer it to use in the base game. Arena is not Escape from Tarkov. It is a different game that you can purchase separately for $35 USD on the Arena website linked to the Escape from Tarkov website. So if you own the Edge of Darkness version of Escape from Tarkov, then you do get Arena for free because all DLC is included. So if you don't own EOD, you are going to need to spend $35 on Arena on the Arena website in order to purchase it, or you can just upgrade to EOD and then you will get it. There is a whole different line of progression in Arena, so you can play this game completely standalone, and if you own the base game, you can play the base game completely without Arena. However, both will feed off of each other with incentives. Arena is like if you played Factory all day, but it ran much better and the layout was different every game. That is the closest thing that you can relate to if you've experienced it, if you've played Escape from Tarkov. If you haven't played Escape from Tarkov, if you haven't experienced Factory, then it's some kind of mix between the ballistics of CSGO, some of the gameplay, and just the general vibe of Call of Duty. But there really isn't a good comparison. You need to go and try it out for yourself. The maps are small, it's heavy PvP, you are in fights within seconds. There's also some PvE sprinkled in, as if those PvP games go too long, there will be AI that come in to kill everyone called sweepers, and that is each round. Exactly as shown in the Chronicles of Rizzy episode from Arena. There's also straight PvE modes, but more on that later. What you're getting for the price of $35 is not just different gameplay, but genuinely a different game with different netcode, network infrastructure, and higher tick rate servers on smaller maps, making for a much smoother and better performing experience. And that has been corroborated by people that have gotten to play it at Gamescom this year, not just BSG saying that. The anti-cheat is being kept secret, but BSG have admitted to meeting with several different providers with a complex solution in the future. On that note though, there will be kill cams and spectator modes, so seeing someone's point of view will of course help with reports on top of whatever else they do. Is it going to completely eliminate cheaters? I highly doubt it. If a massive company like Activision can't figure out cheaters, then I doubt that BSG will, but we can always hope for the best. The traders in the base game will give you tasks to complete in Arena. You can earn rubles that you can then transfer to the base game from Arena. You can level the skills of your base game PMC in Arena, which should be significantly faster than the base game as you get into combat much faster, and you can find or earn gear and items in Arena that you can then transfer to the base game, such as weapons and even cases. When you play Arena, you will gain XP as well as skill levels for your PMC from the base game, as I've already explained. However, as of right now, the XP and money earned in Arena seems very lackluster, with the only screen that we've seen showing that information saying someone who was at the top of their team with 9 kills got a wimpy 1400 XP and 105,000 rubles. That is a pitiful base game raid's worth of progression and a lackluster amount of profit, to say the least, in the current game economy standards. If this was someone who was at the top of their team, then the person at the bottom must be really hurting. This is for sure the biggest critique of the game at the moment, but it's clearly something that they're open to feedback on, along with the balance of the game in general. Apologies as I shoehorn this in here, as I caught this at the very last steps of editing this. Something to keep in mind that I didn't catch when I was writing this script and when I was thinking about this is these games go by very quickly, so it's something to think about when you're thinking about the balance of this. We don't know how long the matching is going to take, especially around release. The matching might end up taking 10 minutes. We'll see what ends up happening with that, but BSG did say that they are going to put a new matchmaker in for Arena, so it's quicker. Just something to keep in mind. These games do go by much faster than a regular raid. Something I didn't catch, so I want to make sure I added it. Okay, back to the rest of the video. At a certain point, you can use your base game kit in Arena, and it will will be the only way to use a custom kit inside of Arena. Otherwise, you have to purchase a loadout from the variety of loadout cards that you have available. Your ability to use a custom loadout from the base game inside of Arena is unlocked through some kind of process that hasn't been specifically defined yet. So if you're, let's say, level 20 in the base game and you go play Arena for the first time that wipe, you won't be able to use a custom kit yet, and that's for balance reasons. We don't know what the process is yet to be able to do this, to be able to use a custom loadout, but until you do it, you're stuck with the loadout cards that your rank in Arena gives you. Your rank in Arena is part of what dictates the loadout cards that you have available, and you can find loadout cards in the open world of the base game to then use in Arena. They are actually loot that you find in the base game. Each loadout costs rubles, so it works just like unlocking traders in the base game. Just because you have access to that stuff doesn't mean that you can use it. You still need to buy it. You'll be able to select a loadout before each game. You will be able to see the entire loadout from the weapon, attachments, mags, armor, ammo, meds, stims, everything before you go and buy it so that you know what you're buying. We've seen kits go from free to almost 300,000 rubles, in which, according to Nikita, you will lose on death. However, in practice at Gamescom, the players that got to play Arena said that they had the same kit throughout the entire game and only lost it after the game ended. We don't know if that was just for Gamescom or what. Based on the price of the kits and how much you get for winning, it doesn't make any sense to me that you lose your kit on death. So we think that Nikita misspoke, but it's possible that changes later. We'll have to wait and see. If that is the case, then the amount that you get for winning will have to drastically increase. We know for a fact that there will be free loadouts because we get access to one when we purchase the game Arena with the Rizzy kit. It is free, but you don't have armor or a headset. However, you do get a snub-nosed double-barrel shotgun with buckshot, an IFAK, and a grenade with an extra perk of earning 10% more rubles. Apparently, you can loot other players in-game, so in theory, if you kill somebody with that kit that you got for free with that double-barrel shotgun and then pick up their gun, you can use it from there. We're not sure if that gun carries into the next round or not, though, and completely assuming that you lose that gun when you die. The gear you have available in the loadouts seem to be everything from PM pistols to Lapua rifles and every kind of ammunition type in between, including exactly what you're thinking right now, which is M995, BP, and all other AP powerhouse ammunitions in the game. When you look closely at the video of loadouts they have on the Arena website, you can see a wide variety. It looks like some loadouts give you extra XP since it's got that little XP icon there. Possibly extra health with the little green pluses there. If that's not extra health, give me an idea. Give me some feedback. What do you guys think that is? Because what else could that be? There's extra rubles, again, with the little ruble icon there. Some are marked by rank and others by class, while some are unknown. Like this Eye of Ra here, or at least what looks like an Eye of Ra. This is possibly one example of a card that you find in raid from the base game. There's this filled in shield on this loadout, which I thought was assault, but it's different from the assault icon, so it's possible that this one is one of the letter ranks that we just haven't seen yet. I'm not exactly sure. It could also be one of the ones that you find in raid. Otherwise, I think the loadouts with the class icons are Arena rank unlocks based on GLP, and the ones with the letter ranks icons with the echelons and stars are based off of your actual MMR rank D+ through A+. One weird thing I wanted to mention here is check out Cyborg here. It's for the pro rank where it costs 250,000 rubles and seems to give you more XP, but only has a pistol. However, I'm pretty sure that pistol is the RSH-12, so I hope it's at least got PS12B in there because that price is nuts. Speculation here, but what if that price is actually a significant XP boost? Because even if that is PSB12 in there, that's not exactly an ideal or a winning kit that guy is using there, and that's 250,000 rubles when there's kits that go for 30 or 40,000 rubles that are very solid. So I imagine some of these bonuses that you get are significant, very significant. With an older look at the UI for the loadouts, there's a tab for rating and a tab for collection as well. So I think you'll find the loadouts with those rank icons in ratings, while the Eye of Ra one in collections and possibly that shield one, then everything else is in their respective tabs with assault, CQB, scout, and now sniper, previously marksman. The favorites tab looks to be one that you can save your go-to loadouts from any of them for quick access. And again, to be clear, as it is right now, all of these loadouts are completely standalone. You cannot edit anything from the loadout. If you purchase a loadout, you get everything that is in your loadout. You can't change out the ammo, you can't change out the mags, you can't change out anything. So you have to choose wisely. If you want specific access, if you want a custom loadout, then you will need to use your base game loadout and choose in the base game, then bring it to Arena. But of course, that is definitely going to cost a lot more than 30 or 40 or even 100,000 rubles for a lot of these kits. So what is not known, at least by me, and it's possible that people that got to play it has heard of this, is the process of earning XP and gaining skill levels while using a loadout. It seems like these loadouts are different people, while your PMC and your custom kit that you bring with you from the base game is of course your PMC. So what I'm wondering is if you don't use a custom loadout with your PMC from the base game, do you not earn XP or skill levels changes for your PMC, it would make sense to work like that, but I'm not certain it does. It's very possible that it doesn't. When you're in-game in Arena, the gameplay seems to be the same, but there are some differences that were noticed. Painkillers don't seem to give the same visual effects, but it could have been a bug, or it's possible BSG have made changes to facilitate more competitive play around that stuff. This was also around when they made the painkiller changes, so maybe it's just not shown the same here. It's possible it was also a perk of a loadout. There are perks for some of these loadouts giving you special advantages, like we've already explained before, like an example of 10% extra rubles, more XP, stuff like that. It's possible that there's kits that have perks that allow you to move faster, carry more weight, get affected by painkillers less, at least visually. And on that note, inertia seems to work the same, though the performance is much better, and many people who have played it has essentially said it's esports ready. Not like the base game at all in that respect, and yet it still plays and feels like the base game at heart. Glorious E, who is an undeniable PvP powerhouse in the base game, said it gave him 11.7 vibes, and that the W-keyers are going to love it. You can check out his full video on it in the description. The main source of negativity that I've heard from people who have played it is the spectator mode. Apparently there are live scavs that are around the edge of the maps that are constantly moving around and yelling, making you think that they could be players. It's very distracting. There's 5 different game modes. We got ranked and unranked between all of them. It's got everything that you want from a competitive FPS, with a bit extra PvE sprinkling on top because of those sweepers at the end of the rounds if you go too long. But there's also a PvE exclusive game mode with 5-player wave defense game mode against scavs and scav bosses. There's 4 maps that we've actually seen being played on, with Sawmill, Bay 5, Air Pit, and Equator. Although some maps like Sawmill and Equator seem like it's just woods or interchange or maybe the new mall on streets, respectively, they are very different maps with very different loadouts. But just in terms of lore, they're at similar locations, or the exact locations in the case of Sawmill. We've also seen mention of 3 other maps with Bowl, the Box, and Resort on the website. We're assuming Resort is the Shoreline Resort. The Bowl is a stadium that we've seen on Nikki League 4 before, and we don't know what the Box is yet. When I spoke to Nikita recently, he said there would be possibly 8 maps for the beta, and then up to 13 or 15 with full release of Arena. Your rating for ranked is said to be called GLP, shown as the gold star in the UI, and it can only be leveled with wins. It doesn't matter how many times you die or your accuracy or anything, just wins. There is a letter rank shown as well, but we don't know how that's associated or scored right now. It's even possible that that is the thing that grows with just wins, but GLP ties into there somehow. On the end game screen, we saw an increase in GLP, but we did not see a specific rank increase anywhere. However, we have seen the animation for that. So it's still a bit open in terms of information there. We're not exactly sure how that works. All we know is that when it comes to the most important ranked mode or rating, however you want to describe it, it's just wins that matter. So it doesn't matter how you win, as long as you win, you get a better rating that way. So on top of that, there's a couple things that are confusing us at the moment, as we are getting contradicting reports from BSG and Nikita himself. As of the recording of this video, they are traveling back from Gamescom, and I am actually about to be traveling for the next week as well myself. So as soon as we get concrete answers, I'll update you guys, but it's going to take a few days. The first major contradiction is in the ability to level skills in the ranked game modes. Nikita has said multiple times now that your skills will be quote unquote locked in ranked, and yet we saw footage of skills being gained in ranked. And I was told by other BSG team members that they won't be locked, but you will only match up with people within your skill level based off of that skill-based matchmaking and MMR ranked matchmaking. So even if that opponent that you're facing in ranked mode has a higher strength, recoil control, vitality, or stress resistance, whatever, then they must not know how to use it properly or use it to their advantage because you're still ranked the same. Personally, that sounds fine to me, and it seems like that's what's going to be happening. That's all only if the ranked and unranked modes work the way that we think they're seen that they do. If we think the unranked modes are just for practice where we don't earn anything because that's what we've been told, the possibility there is that it was a spoken mistake. These things happen, and what they meant was offline unranked mode. However, we have only seen ranked and unranked modes. We don't see anything that points to an offline mode. So if there's just the ranked and unranked modes where you can only earn in that ranked mode because that's what we've seen and been told, then it is not skill locked for rank. What might be the answer is you can only use loadouts in the ranked modes, but again, that doesn't seem to be the case. So there's more questions that need to be answered, but BSG are on their way back from Germany, like I mentioned before, so I will see if I can get some answers when they're settled back in. That is the full rundown TLDR on what we have for Arena at the moment. That is the best information that we can possibly get on the subject, where all of this, unless it is an opinion based on the gameplay from people that have played it, is directly from Nikita or high-ranking members of BSG. There's still a couple outstanding issues, and the balance of it all is absolutely in question, but it should be available for testing by December, if not much sooner, so we'll have plenty of time to get feedback on it. That is until the full release of the game, but even then, we're going to get extra stuff coming afterwards. But that's going to do it for today, guys. For the latest news, be sure to follow me on Twitter or join the Discord, both linked below. If you like this video, hit the button, sub for more, comment what you think, and check out my other channels for other games right here. Extra note for you guys, I am going to be going to New York to check out Payday 3 early this week, and I am going to be covering at least a couple videos on it on the channel. If there is something specific that you want to see from Payday 3 or something that you're interested in, please let me know, and I'll try my best to get what I can on it. Otherwise, again, thank you guys for watching. Hope you have a nice day. See you guys.